Welcome back, scholars. Today we're going to be focusing on monoprinting and relief printing. Back in January, or actually really December, we did an activity together as a class, my PMA scholars, with printmaking. We created printmaking using foam, and then kind of cutting out our patterns and then using that as a way to do the relief printing. So I thought it would be great to do it again, and this time include monoprinting. All right, so let's get started.
Okay, scholars, I want to start by giving you some definitions. Let's start off with what printing is in general. Printing is the process of making images that can be transferred onto other surfaces. It can be used to make one or more identical images or create repeating patterns on paper and textiles. Monoprinting means one print. So monoprinting is essentially just making a mark using any materials or on any surface, such as pencils on paper, Photoshop brushes on a screen, scratches on a piece of clay, or even paint on a canvas, and then using that to create the print, but you're only getting one print. So it's one transfer versus multiple transfers. So let's talk about the materials you'll be needing.
Okay, so let's begin. So the materials you're going to be needing are this gel plate. I'll kind of show it to you. This is the information on it. I will link below all of the materials that I used so that if you're interested in purchasing it, you can. You can also create your own with certain ingredients. Household ingredients, so that I will link that as well below. But this is really what it is. It's just kind of like this gel plate. As I'm lifting it up off my table so you can see it. This is what you're going to use to actually do the monoprinting and the relief printing. You will also need some art acrylic paint, and I'm only going to be using two colors for this activity, black and white, but feel free to use any colors that you already have available. If you don't have acrylic paint, you can also use watercolor paste if you have that at home. You're gonna also need this acrylic plate. You can use any type of plate. I just have this acrylic plate already at here at home, and this is what you're going to use to put the paint on and spread it out using your brayer, which is going to be another tool that you're going to need. And then lastly, you'll need some marking tools. So I have like a what do you call these things? I can't remember the name. When it comes to me, I'll let you know. And this tool here, it's like a little plastic knife. I'm going to be using my Sharpie, the top of my Sharpie, or maybe the bottom of my Sharpie, for that like soft, smooth, round edge, as well as the end of my paintbrush. Now, if you do not have a brayer, which is totally fine, you can use a large paintbrush to spread the paint as well. So okay, so let's get started. What you'll do is just dab just a little bit of paint on your plexi. Maybe just a little bit more. Not a lot already. And then you're going to use your brayer or your paintbrush, whichever one that you have. And you're just going to kind of like smear it down here, like so. And you just gotta be mindful that when you're spreading it, that you're trying to completely coat the brayer. The sprayer's giving me issues. There you go. You're trying to coat the brayer. So what's good is just to lift it and try to get some momentum to swing it through all the way. And with acrylic paint, you just have to work a little quickly because it dries. Then you're gonna put it on your plate, your gel plate, and then once you have like a good of my own paint, then you can go ahead and maybe do a design. Again, like I said, I'm just playing right now. I don't quite have an idea yet what I want to do. So then you'll just lay down your paper flat. And this is your monoprint. Now, there's a few things I'd like you to keep in mind. Let me just show you over in this camera angle here. So in this video, when you're doing monoprinting or relief printing, or any other type of printmaking, when you lay something down, like words, it has to be, you have to write it backwards, because what will happen is when you lay the paper down, it will just it will print it in reverse. So what you'll need to do is, if you're including words, like you see how I was like playing with like S's and it turned it backwards. So I would need to make my S's in the opposite direction so that when I do print it, when I pull up the print, it will read correctly. But since we're just playing with like textures and things like that, it just doesn't really matter for me right now. Let's do this again. We'll add a little bit of this paint here. And this time I'm gonna use the paintbrush to show you like what it would be like to use a paintbrush versus a brayer. So you would just kind of just evenly spread it, right? And then you just kind of do the same thing again. Okay. I'm going to do half of a square, right? And this time I would like to maybe do another pattern. So maybe some like straight lines. And like, you don't press too hard on the gel plate, but hard enough that it's kind of scraping the paint, as you can see. I'm trying to work quickly because, like I said, acrylic paint has a tendency to dry very quickly, and we don't want that to happen while we're working. So here we go. So then you just press down really hard and then lift it up. Oh, okay, so you see, like, this is kind of the print that was created from that. So
Okay, so you've seen me kind of do a few. So let's do some more and see what we can come up with. Just remember, like, there is no right way to do this. It's just all about having fun and creating different types of print and just using your imagination. Okay, so this is monoprinting. I hope you enjoyed this activity, and remember to send me your work. The information will be linked below in the comment box, and I can't wait to see what you guys have done. And the next video will be focusing on relief printing. Bye!